Hey, what's going on, guys? Raph from C70 Camera. Finally got a face to a lot of the videos that we've been doing here. So we're gonna go ahead and do a nice little product review today. I had a chance recently to shoot with the new Canon C70 camera. The Canon C70 is a pretty awesome lightweight system. Had a chance to shoot out on the field with it. It's got 6 stops of stabilization, but if you have a lens that's capable of doing stabilization as well too, it stacks, which is really great. At first it's very daunting, right? It's a pretty big system. But the more I had a chance to mess around with the system, the more I learned about it. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I shot a concert for my friends and it was a really great time. I was really blown away by the low light shooting that this camera is capable of. It's also got 2 UHS 2 card slots, so if you need to throw in some big chunky cards, it'll definitely load up and save up a lot of space as well too. You're gonna want those UH2 cards specifically if you wanna do 4K 120 frames, which this camera is more than capable of doing. The really cool one here that you're not gonna get with other systems that are around this price point is the built-in NDs. So overall, this system is really great for videographers, run and gunners, people like me. But you're probably wondering, in terms of filmmaking, how does this stack up? Well, we'll go ahead and introduce my friend Chris here to speak with in regards to that.
How's it going, guys? I'm Chris. I work with Raph here at C70 Camera in Las Vegas, but I am also an independent filmmaker. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about what the C70 can do for you if you are also making films. This camera in particular is capable of 16 stops of dynamic range. For those of you who don't know what that is, well, it's a lot, number one. But if you don't know what dynamic range is, it's essentially detail in your darks and your light. Kind of works hand in hand with the camera's ability to do C-Log 2 and 3, which is essentially a picture profile. That's going to be one of the most important things for filmmakers. So C-Log is basically the opposite of all other picture profiles. Instead of adding characteristics to it, it actually takes them away, kind of grays things out. And that, again, that allows you the most information. It's about data retention. And that's kind of what this whole dynamic range thing is. It's getting more information. And why that's more of like a filmmaker thing is that the workflow is not nearly as quick.
10-bit 422. You keep hearing that all the, basically everywhere pretty much. So what's so special about 4K 10-bit 422?
This camera is able to do 4K 10-bit 422, which means it's able to take in about 1 billion color shades. It's kind of a special thing that it's like a beautiful hybrid between a video, like a camera that's really optimized for videography and a camera that is crazy over the top for cinema. It's kind of the perfect marriage for those things.
Alrighty, within the recording media setup, you'll have your main options here, such as changing the main recording format, the 10-bit 422, right? The main resolution and bitrate, of course, 4K, and your main frame rate. The main part is that kind of tripped me up a little bit was accessing 4K 120. If you want to access 4K 120, you basically want to jump to the second tab, go to recording mode, and either pick slow and fast motion or S and F clip with audio. So if you want to do that cool slow-mo stuff and have the slow-mo audio, you can actually pick the audio as well too, and it'll basically do a slow mode version of the audio as well. So it's neat that they have that feature. So if you want to add that, it'll be in the settings as well too. And then you can actually choose the options of how slow you want your frame rate to be as well here too. So autofocus response basically does the same thing with the R5 and the R6. What it basically does is when you're focused on a subject, it'll basically focus faster or slower based off of the responsive time of the moving subject. So if you're doing something really fast, you can go up to +3. Or if you want to kind of not be as responsive and have a little bit of delay, you can go to -3 as well too. Jumping into the menu settings, you can actually access your autofocus modes. You have continuous, AF boosted, and one shot, of course. You have your frames, you can control the frame of it, whole area, small, large. So if you want to be pinpoint and accurate in terms of what you want to focus on, you'll be able to do that through AF frame. You can move the box around with the AF frame position. And the other really cool thing about it as well too is the speeds and the response time as well too. You'll see this a lot with the Canon R5 and the R6 for their video modes. You can actually change the speed, so if you want to replicate like rack focusing, you know, it'll slowly focus in on subjects as well too, which is really great. You can really slow it down to -7 or make it sharp and responsive up to +2, which is really great. And of course, that's a wrap for this video, guys. It's an awesome camera for cinema as well too. For the price point, you just can't beat it. Built-in ND filters, up to 10 stops, 6 points of stabilization. It's got basically everything you could ever really ask for in the system.